Attention, vous venez de pénétrer dans la zone infectée Walking Dead. Inutile de résister, vous êtes déjà contaminé par la fièvre enivrante de cette série événement. Lancé le 31 octobre dernier aux États-Unis, le premier épisode a rassemblé plus de 5 millions de téléspectateurs. Un succès croissant tout au long de la saison, puisque le 6e et dernier épisode a captivé 6 millions de personnes.
Speak your mind.
Diffusé simultanément dans 120 pays, The Walking Dead lâche aujourd'hui sa horde de zombies sur choc. Voilà donc une belle occasion de disséquer cette série phénomène, en compagnie des créateurs de cet univers délicieusement abominable,
This is awful, and I'm like, I know, it's awful, like, but we gotta do it right.
Du réalisateur et producteur de la série,
He was telling me the zombie story I had been waiting to hear.
mais aussi des comédiens,
That was the season about trying to understand what it means to be human.
et même du chef maquilleur qui a failli avaler sa chic devant l'ampleur du travail. Bienvenue dans les entrailles de Walking Dead. Début de transmission.
Shay, you in the John?
Pour bien comprendre les origines de cet incroyable projet, il faut remonter en 2003, à l'époque où The Walking Dead n'était pas encore une série, mais une BD. Le policier Rick Grimes tombe des nues et on le comprend. Suite à une grave blessure l'ayant plongé dans un profond coma, le voilà qui se réveille au cœur d'un monde apocalyptique où les morts reviennent à la vie. Après 8 ans de publication aux États-Unis, cette BD fête aujourd'hui son 80e numéro. Un succès incroyable qui ne pouvait qu'attirer l'attention des éditions françaises Delcourt.
Une partie de mon travail consiste à surveiller un petit peu ce qui sort de manière régulière aux États-Unis. Et ma veille technologique dans ce domaine m'a permis de découvrir le tout premier fascicule de Walking Dead au moment où il est sorti, il y a 7-8 ans. Et j'ai immédiatement flashé sur cette série. Puis on est arrivé à la proposer en fait à Guy chez Delcourt. Et puis voilà, le reste c'est l'histoire.
Comme aux États-Unis, la BD connaît dès lors en France le même triomphe. Les chiffres en sont la preuve.
À ce jour, on a passé la barre des 50 000 exemplaires sur le tome 1, ce qui en fait, dans le registre de la bande dessinée en général, d'ores et déjà un succès grand public. En ce qui concerne l'ensemble de la série, on a passé le cap des 400 000 exemplaires.
Si cette BD suscite un tel engouement auprès des fans et des professionnels, c'est avant tout grâce au talent de son créateur et scénariste, Robert Kirkman.
Cool thing about zombie films is that, you know, they're awesome and you get to meet a lot of cool characters and there's a lot of cool conflict and, you know, there's neat stuff happening every now and then and, you know, they're nice, riveting, you know, pieces of entertainment. But at the end of it, they just kind of end, you know, like most zombie movies have almost the same ending, you know. I always wanted to see what happened next. I just thought, you know, I could do a comic book that would last for years and years, and I could follow these characters and watch them grow and evolve over time and see how the living in this world changes them.
Pour tenir son lecteur en haleine, Robert Kirkman utilise donc un savant mélange de scènes gore et de réflexions sur le genre humain.
My main goal with The Walking Dead was just to show you know, how bad people become good and good people become bad and how living in a world like this twists and turns things around to where, you know, morals get twisted and you know, people's actions that they would think are normally wrong end up being the right thing to do. And I think that I've accomplished that.
En effet, on peut dire que Kirkman a réussi son pari si l'on en juge par l'étonnante longévité de la BD. Le scénariste peut être fier de lui, tout comme de son dessinateur attitré depuis maintenant 8 ans, Charlie Adlard.
Basically, we work very separately from each other. We talk lots, and yeah, we have a really good long conversation, probably about once every 2 or 3 months. But in between that, he writes the scripts. I leave him alone to write the scripts because that's what he's good at. That's his part of the comic. And he lets me draw it, and he pretty much leaves me alone to draw my side of it because he realizes that's what I do best.
Si Charlie Adlard est désormais indissociable de la BD Walking Dead, c'est pourtant Tony Moore qui signe les dessins du premier tome. Mais à ses lignes claires et classiques, Kirkman préférera le noir et blanc plus sombre et contrasté de Adlard.
Oh, we'll do the comic in black and white. That'll be kind of cool. And then the other thing is that printing in black and white is technically cheaper than printing in color. And then also another thing about being black and white is you can get away with showing more gore, I guess. So if, zombies are getting ripped up and people are dying, if everything is a nice wash of gray, it's not quite as shocking.
Moins choquant peut-être, mais quand même assez saisissant. Armés de leurs plumes et de leurs crayons, Kirkman et Adlard vont assez loin dans l'horreur. Ils arrivent même parfois à se choquer eux-mêmes.
He sometimes gets the script and calls me up and it's like, oh, this is awful. And I'm like, I know, it's awful. Like, but we gotta do it right. And he's like, I guess. I think people think that we're like, yeah, kill him. Yeah, let's do this. But, the two of us really do have a hard time, getting that stuff out.
Comment parler de zombies sans évoquer le maître du genre, George Romero? Depuis La Nuit des morts-vivants en 1968 jusqu'au récent Survival of the Dead, le réalisateur a défini dans ses films tous les codes du mort-vivant. Normal donc qu'il ait servi d'influence à Walking Dead.
I don't think Romero can get too much credit as far as influences on The Walking Dead. I mean, it's very much a Romero zombie type world. These are Romero type zombies. They're slow. I think that I set out, I really wanted to kind of canonize zombie lore. Well, there's other stuff. I think that, movies like Schindler's List and The Pianist, I was kind of watching those a lot, just because you kind of get to see, Europe during World War II was kind of like an end of the world situation. It's very important that everybody in the world of The Walking Dead is portrayed as being extremely sad, because it's a very sad time.
Avec de telles références cinématographiques, pas étonnant que des gens du 7e art aient souhaité faire de Walking Dead une adaptation digne de ce nom. Le premier à s'être intéressé de près à l'adaptation de la BD Walking Dead, c'est Frank Darabont. Plus connu pour ses drames tels que Les Évadés ou encore La Ligne Verte, le réalisateur n'en est pas moins fan du genre horrifique.
A lot of people don't know he's a horror guy. If you've ever been to his house, you know that, it's covered with King Kong statues and monsters of all kinds and burning Wrightson art, and he's very much a horror genre, I want to say nerd, but, he's kind of a, geek.
Après avoir réalisé The Mist, d'après le roman de Stephen King, et scénarisé entre autres Freddy 3, Frankenstein et La Mouche 2, Darabont était donc la personne idéale pour s'attaquer à cette invasion de zombies.
It's tempting to just call this a zombie tale, and indeed many ways it is, of course, but ultimately what I found most intriguing about this project specifically, Kirkman's The Walking Dead, was the very intensely character-driven approach that he had taken.
Come on, let's go!
Dès l'instant où Darabont possède les droits de la BD, il se met en quête d'un producteur. Mais développer une série sur des morts-vivants n'est pas chose aisée.
They may not seem like much one at a time, but in a group all riled up and hungry, man, you watch your ass.
Après plusieurs rejets, dont la chaîne NBC, Darabont est dans l'impasse. C'est alors que la productrice Gail Leonard fait une apparition providentielle.
I got in touch with him and I said, Frank, The Walking Dead, I can't believe it. This is such great material. Where does it stand? And he said, I've given up on it. We tried. People just don't want to see zombies on television. I said, maybe it's just the people you've been talking to.
Créditée au générique des meilleurs films de James Cameron, comme Terminator ou Abyss, Gail Leonard maîtrise la production et sait s'adresser aux bonnes personnes. C'est ainsi qu'elle oriente le projet Walking Dead vers la chaîne AMC, déjà à l'origine de séries décalées telles que Mad Men ou Breaking Bad.
The luxury of AMC and Fox International is that we're all in the cable arena. And so we are not broadcasters that needs to cater to a large amount of people and be sensitive to censorships. We can get away with a little bit more if we schedule the show at 10 p.m.
Une fois la série sur les rails, Frank Darabont est chargé d'en réaliser le pilote. Robert Kirkman est bien sûr nommé producteur exécutif, un rôle qu'il prend très au sérieux.
being a producer on a television show is a pretty cool thing. The thing you have to do if you're a television producer is have a BlackBerry and be willing to look at that a lot.
Kirkman plaisante, mais pas question pour lui de laisser son bébé entre de mauvaises mains. L'homme sait ce qu'il veut et il le fait savoir.
I didn't want it to be a direct adaptation. I didn't want it to be, oh, it's word for word. I want these guys to work on the show, basically. If they just do a word for word thing, they're not even writing anything. It's ridiculous.
He's also been very encouraging with me to bring other ideas to the table as we go along and saying, I want to get from your point A to your point B or C or D, but I've found other points along the way I'd like to explore. I think between point A and point B, there's two other stories to tell. There could be 2 episodes, So I want to do that. And he's, okay, that's cool.
Sur la vingtaine de personnages évoluant dans la série, seule une dizaine est présente dans la BD. Autant vous dire que Darabont s'en est donné à cœur joie.
I think the fans of the comic book will definitely recognize the regulars, but I've salted in a few of my own in the midst of this thing, and that has been terrific fun. It's infused a dynamic into the proceedings that isn't there in the Kirkman comic books, is there in the television series. So there's a couple, there's a few.
Alors certes, la série Walking Dead ne respecte pas scrupuleusement la BD, mais que les fans se rassurent, tout est fait dans le respect du matériau initial. Kirkman veille au grain, il a même signé le scénario d'un des épisodes.
I really enjoyed Robert's episode.
That's it! That's the bag! Otto, take it! Take it!
And actually, I won't give a spoiler away, but the sort of the denouement of the old people segment is a good surprise.
Stop, on ne vous en dira pas plus sur les différents rebondissements majeurs de la série. En revanche, parlons un peu de sa réalisation. Tous les épisodes de la série Walking Dead ont été confiés à des experts de la mise en scène. Chacun ayant œuvré sur X-Files, The Shield, Dexter et autres Prison Break, on peut être sûr qu'ils ont apporté le même soin aux scènes d'action qu'au drame humain.
Is that right? Yeah, baby.
Le drame humain, parlons-en. Afin de garantir son authenticité, la production a choisi de privilégier le talent des acteurs plutôt que leur notoriété.
We did not want to hire actors who were so well known from other television series that audiences would look at it and say, "Oh, that's so and so," playing Rick Grimes or Laurie Grimes. Instead, they followed the tradition of the other AMC shows with fairly unknown actors.
We'll be approaching Atlanta on Highway 85. If anybody reads, please respond.
Parmi tous les personnages, celui qui porte l'histoire, c'est bien sûr Rick Grimes. Il était donc essentiel de choisir le bon interprète.
There was probably like 40 people that came in for Rick, and Andrew Lincoln was pretty late in the game. And, there were people here and there where I'd be like, oh, I like this guy, and I like this guy, and I like that guy. But when Andrew came along, like it was almost instant. Like they would send me stuff to look at, and I was like, oh, yeah, this guy's really good. And they were like, yeah, we really like him.
Hello? Anybody home?
Les plus cinéphiles l'auront peut-être reconnu. Amoureux transi de Keira Knightley dans Love Actually et fiancé malchanceux dans L'Arnaqueur, Andrew Lincoln campe ici un policier dont la morale est mise à rude épreuve.
He's a very pragmatic, practical, solitary guy. He's very good on his own. He's an everyman. He's morally sound. He's got good judgment. But the most intriguing thing about him is that he's not black and white. He has problems with his relationship. He focuses far more on work. He's neglected his family. There were grey areas that I really enjoyed that were very, very real.
Rick n'a rien d'un super-héros, et pourtant il devra se surpasser pour sauver sa peau et parvenir à rejoindre sa famille.
They're alive. My wife and son. At least they were when they left.
How can you know?
Ce qu'il ignore, c'est que durant son absence, sa femme s'est laissée aller dans les bras de son meilleur ami.
How much time we had?
Enough.
I don't think it was really a relationship. I think it was a couple of encounters, that again, I think when, you know, when people are desperate and everything is so incredibly heightened, I think things just kind of happen, you know? I don't think that this is a thing that Shane thought about, you know, back in the day when all three of them were hanging out. I don't think it's something that he sort of harbored deep down. And if he did, it was something so far in his, you know, subconscious that it's never something that he actually, you know, it has nothing to do with plotting or brooding or wanting, you know? I think it's something that just happened.
If the day Rick returned to camp, Lori could pull her courage together and say, listen, thinking you were dead, thinking I was gonna die any minute, thinking the world was ending, I slept with your best friend. I realize that's not gonna sound great, but I'm coming clean. There was no intention of infidelity, and it really didn't mean anything. I think that would be all true, and I think Rick and Lori could move beyond it. Lori's way too scared to say that, because if he rejected her at that point, she would be utterly lost.
My husband is back. He is alive.
He's my best friend. How you think that I'm not happy about that?
How dare you? Why would you be? You are the one that told me that he died.
Cette situation délicate laisse augurer un triangle amoureux des plus complexes. Ce n'est là qu'une des multiples aventures humaines que l'on retrouve dans la série.
Within a medium of a serialized television series, you have the opportunity to get to know characters and to see them struggle with the decisions that they have to make. And ultimately, those decisions are often based on family, on choices, on what kind of person has the skill set to survive in this new society. And I think those are relatable situations that a viewer would put themselves into that situation. What would they do?
I'd like to have a calm discussion on this topic. You think we can manage that?
Mais laissons de côté les problèmes des humains pour se tourner vers ceux des morts. The Walking Dead, c'est bien sûr une flopée de zombies en tout genre. Le chef maquilleur, Greg Nicotero, s'est régalé.
For The Walking Dead, Frank gave me complete free rein to really do what we wanted to do. Frank had always said that, you know, dude, one of these days we're going to get a chance to do our zombies. These are going to be our zombies, nobody else's zombies.
Oh God.
Après 34 ans d'expérience passée aux côtés de Romero, Wes Craven ou encore Sam Raimi, Nicotero a créé bon nombre de maquillages de zombies. Mais pour Walking Dead, il a tout de même réussi à se renouveler.
One of the things is that when a body dies and the skin starts to tighten, a lot of times the skin sort of pulls away from the lip, so it gets real. It looks like it's a grimace.
Little girl.
And a lot of the artwork in Walking Dead has kind of a grimace look to it. The other thing is that there's always a weight. Like if you look at Bride of Frankenstein and you look at, they had little prosthetics that they put on Boris Karloff just to give him some weight, to make his eyes look heavy. Like everything he just looks dead.
It's gonna work. I can't believe it. Don't draw attention.
We even came up with an idea that we made contact lenses that appeared to be rolled back, so that the eyes actually look like they're rolled back in the head. So when you see them, you're only seeing a little bit of it. It was that kind of thing that we sort of were taking what you traditionally look at as zombies and taking it in a different direction.
Maintenant que Walking Dead n'a plus de secret pour vous, vous allez passer au deuxième stade de la contamination.
Holy shit.
Des troubles de la coordination vont s'opérer, vous ne pourrez plus articuler, et une violente envie de voir tous les épisodes de la série va se manifester. Voilà à quoi vous allez sous peu ressembler. Allez, dans 15 secondes, fin de transmission.
It's the show I'd want to see.
It's been one of the wildest roller coaster rides.
Please watch The Walking Dead on Orange Cinema Series.